visor is lined up where I want it on the base here. I'm going to use my prototype that I've made as an example, but you can use Caboose's guide as kind of a reference point so that you know where to place it. And we're just going to sew that on with a simple stitch, not in the back of our thread, and starting at the back so that that will not show up on the front of the face here. We're just going to stitch right along the edge line here. Nothing really too special. It's just to keep it in place here. Stitches that I've made just as a quick example of how that'll look like. Here it is sewn on, and I added some details with the thread on the visor here, and then I'm going to sew on the black detail to make it look more like. You can add an optional dart. That triangle that was on the pattern, it helps the stuffing a bit, make it more shaped out like a circle. So you're going to do a blanket stitch all the way around except for where the torso connects, and using that hole you're going to fill it with cotton balls or stuffing, whichever one's available to you. So you can see how that'll look here, stuffing you in there. A lot of the detail work with these dolls is mostly just a case of simply adding some thread to outline where you're going to fill in the black fabric paint to make limbs look more like armor pieces, really. So you can see I added some thread to create an outline of the torso piece there. So I'm just going to line those up, and then I'm going to place it inside of the helmet gap there so that it fits pretty well inside there. Then I'll do the same with sewing it up and filling it with some cotton as well. And here you can see what I have so far compared to my prototype caboose. He has some extra felt glued on to make the limbs look more three-dimensional, and you can just use this as an example of how your finished product will look. Just go along the lines of connecting things how you see fit and adding details with paint and thread as you go along, making sure to add those in before you stuff them. And that's pretty much it.
So yeah, that's the video, and I'll make sure to leave that just totally public on my channel. So if anyone ever wants to just come back and reference it, just make sure to put it in your likes or watch later playlists. And of course, if you ever have any more specific questions, you can always ask me. Like, if you've never done sewing before, you might not know what a blanket stitch is, and it's as simple as looking it up. It's one of the easiest stitches you can do. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want to hop in, like with your voice to ask questions instead of typing them out, you can feel free. But I'm planning on making a little donut doll here in a bit. I got like this pink sparkly felt, and I'm going to work on making a Mark 6 helmet pattern. So it's going to be really cute because he's going to match the sparkly sticker. All right, thank you. But yeah, I left a supplies list in the convention announcements, but I mean, other than the obvious ones like felt and a sewing needle, make sure you have the right colors of thread like yellow for the visor, or if you're doing one of the blues and reds, then a blue thread for the visor, and then whatever thread is pretty close to the felt color of like the base armor is really the only thread colors you need. And while you can just glue on felt to do like extra colors, I find it easier to just dab on some fabric paint. But as you can see, like towards the end of the video, the first caboose doll that my sister helped me make, we actually glued on some extra felt like around the arm so that his armor looked more three-dimensional. And I felt like, not that it exactly was successful, but it's just kind of a personal choice if that's something you want to go for, if you want to keep it more almost two-dimensional. And if you're not really confident about making an entire doll, you could just make a helmet and just have it like as a little backpack charm for yourself. Oh yeah, you could go ahead and do that, especially if you wanted like really small color details. I'm just saying if you wanted it more subtle to just kind of outline what the armor looks like, you would go for a similar color. But if that's what you like, then you can totally go for differently colored ones if that's what you want to go for. Like if you were trying to outline kind of one of the armor types where the secondary color is very subtle, especially, that would be really good for it. I haven't started yet. I only just bought the supplies today. I just felt like this would be good for kind of throwing ideas around and seeing how many people would be interested in trying to make their own dolls. And also, once I finish making the second caboose that I've had, I might do like a little random giveaway or something. I don't know. I don't really have need for a second caboose. Well, once you already kind of have the base pattern, it was the pattern making that took me the longest. So now that I already have the pattern, I would say if I'm devoting like all of my time to it, I guess I could say it would take anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. If you wanted to just make a little helmet charm, it would take an hour, maybe even less. Fabric instead of felt, I think it would be okay. But if you've ever done sewing before, you'd probably have to make it so that you turn the pieces inside out, just so that you're not leaving the raw edges out, because then it could fray, depending on which fabric you're using. Felt's just pretty easy because you don't have to worry about turning things inside out. But yeah, I mean, and felt's pretty cheap. Like, I think the cheapest I've ever gotten felt was about 30 cents per square. And I only needed 1 square to make a caboose doll. About the size of like printer paper. It was like a 9 by 12 inches. Yeah, as long as you, yeah, they're pretty cute. I think it's about 8 inches tall. I could always try making one that's a bit bigger. I mean, I could even just try making like a giant helmet pillow if I wanted to. But kind of also another cool thing with felt, is it's really easy to make like little cartoony accessories for your characters if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to make like a little rifle or something for them. Yeah. Like for one of my sister's felt creations, she once made Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and she made like little fish for him to hold. And it's just, I don't know, felt is really easy to use when it comes to small crafts. That's why I usually prefer it, because it's pretty sturdy as a 2-dimensional shape or a 3-dimensional. There's even some types of felt that you'll see in the craft store that might be easier than getting like some fabric glues. I've never tried using it myself, but the ones that have adhesive. Other things that I've made, I've helped my sister make little Toothless dolls. I could maybe pull up a picture of that. I've made little pillows. I once made a little mermaid doll. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like, because I've made like a lot of little crafts. I've made like these little tiny kitten dolls, like just little cats. Wonder if I can find I have considered it, but I've never really looked to see if there's been that much interest in them. Mostly because I check to see how interested people are in craft shows and stuff, but we don't really have any of those around right now. Let me find a few. I think I'll take a picture of the example I got here. I've got some thread tied around. I got like a little cat that I use as a pin cushion, and then I've got the little Toothless here. I'll take a picture on my phone and send it. So this Toothless is like holding a little heart. I'll send you guys a picture here, just right here in the chat. So yeah, he's pretty cute. My sister had a pattern for it. They're pretty easy and really fun to make, especially when, like, even the wings, they're not even like a 3-dimensional shape. I didn't need to stuff them or anything. I've actually considered maybe making, like, if I was to make a bunch of dolls and charms, maybe to see if anyone would be interested in buying them, but I'm not sure. Like, if it'd really be worth it if I just make a bunch and then no one wants them. We designed some of them, but a lot we actually purchase on Etsy. For example, the Toothless one, it's a design that she purchased on Etsy, but it is one that we are allowed to sell if we choose to. We just can't sell like the pattern itself. I mean, if you guys would really be interested in it, I wonder... I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd be able to sell them on Etsy because it's technically copyrighted. But I wonder if I'd be able to like open up some sort of online store. All right. I mean, I used to sell a bunch of other stuff on my Etsy too, but I kind of took a break from it all. I mean, the thing is, I get like paranoid about copyright stuff, even though you can look on Etsy and you see just like a million people selling Disney merch and shit. I get paranoid because I think like, but what if I am caught?
Yeah, they usually don't go after smaller stuff like at all. That's why people don't really talk about getting caught on Etsy like ever. So it's, I mean, like it's a risk that you can take, but the risk is so incredibly low that it's like,
yeah. And I mean, I guess like what's the worst thing that could happen? My shop that barely is successful gets shut down.
Yeah, they can't really. Yeah.
Plus, I don't really care that much for Etsy anymore. They've kind of gotten ridiculous with their fees lately. But I think I will. I think I'll go ahead and maybe make a few plushies and maybe some charms of some red versus blue characters, like maybe the most popular ones. And if a couple of those sell, I'll kind of expand which ones. So if I was to make a few, like which ones would you guys be most interested in? I mean, I'm sure caboose is a given. I could also, I guess I could like even just make a cute like little doll pair where I could like sell Griff and Simmons together too. I could probably also, to make it easier, like if people want extra characters, like you said, how you'd love Jean, I could even make it to where I could have a listing where you could have a custom doll made for just like a couple bucks extra. And that way you'd even be able to like ask for your own like RvB Sona to be made instead of just one of the specific characters. But yeah, I could do the freelancers too. I just didn't really realize there would be people that would actually be interested in something like this. If I make a Griff, I'm totally going to make like a little food accessories like for him if I do. Like I could probably for like specific characters, I could sell like little specific things for each of them. But yeah, I was just thinking like what if I made just like a little tiny like Simmons and Griff pair where they're like their hands are sewn together so that they're holding hands. Oh, jeez. That would be too fucking... I want to make that now. I might just make that on my own. But yeah, I mean, since a lot of you guys seem interested, I guess I will actually... I guess I'll go through with maybe putting up a couple dolls up on my Etsy. And if a few of them sell, I'll go ahead and open up custom orders. I mean, there's nothing in my Etsy right now. I think I'll just go ahead and link it once I actually have it up. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, I could do that too. It's just all my business cards have my Etsy on it too. So I mean, I might as well try selling on Etsy occasionally because I used to a lot. But I guess I guess I'll kind of just have it up on the Etsy and I'll just have oh yeah, definitely I'll use invoices. But it also, if I put it up on the Etsy, I'll be able to kind of maybe get obviously more people interested outside of Facebook. I wonder if I could make a mini Freckles. I mean, I could make like a little charm out of them. I'm not sure if I'd be able to make like a very three-dimensional Freckles. But I could make one where it's like most of the detail work is just a thread. Yeah, you can pretty much find everything at a craft store. I had the list up in the convention announcements. I can just repost it in the panel chat here. So there's what I wrote up. It's pretty much like all of the supplies you could need. But yeah, I guess pretty much like the only thing I'm missing out on that list is kind of self-explanatory, which is like you're gonna want a paintbrush for the fabric paint. All right, so I guess if anyone has any more questions, I can go ahead and answer those. And if not, I think I can go ahead and end this panel a bit early. You're very welcome. And I mean, like, if you ever have any extra questions, I'm pretty much always around. All right. Thanks for having me as a panel, guys.
Thanks for doing it.
You're welcome. It took a lot of bravery.
You did really good. I think you're super calm and like very organized too. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Go hang out with your friend.
All right. Bye, guys.
Friend time. Bye. See you guys.
See ya.
That's it for the panels. I might as well do a closing
All right.
or something. This is it for panels for today. We have more stuff tomorrow, although it's more like memetic things. But come vibe. We'll do probably more like game related stuff tomorrow, I imagine.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys around. Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
You can suck my Richard. Get it? Because my name is Richard. Ha! It's funny, right? Right. Red till I'm dead, just like Sarge always said. So, suck it, blue.